It's Sunday, November 26, 2023. And it seems like forever since I made any headway on my covers project. I have 143 complete. So that leaves, 57 to go. And that's not too bad. That's 2 to 3 days. I don't know if I can do 20 today. It's not that early. I got some rest today because we did a market yesterday, which was a lot of fun, and we actually sold quite a bit of product. It was a little bit better in sales than I would say would be average, so that was really nice. And I got to see people I know. I haven't seen the other market people for a while because we haven't been doing very many. So this was just our Christmas market. We do. Sorry, I'm still kind of tired. Still sleepy. So today I actually had a little project I was going to do outside today, something that just needs to be done before the dead of winter shows up. But it's actually quite a bit too miserable out right now to do that. The wind it's a terribly strong north wind today, and the temperature isn't especially low, but it's a good bit below zero. But that wind just makes it very uncomfortable out there. So I'll use my time indoors. You know, there's lots to do in here. That project can wait another couple of days and just get some covers made. So let's hope that I can get these done. I wanted to get them done and delivered by the end of the month, and I think Friday is the end of the month. So we'll see, right? I don't think I have a lot more distractions this week, so I should be able to make pretty good progress. Getting them actually delivered this week, I'm not sure, but we can try. Maybe we'll be doing that on Friday or something. I don't remember, is it Thursday or Friday at the end of the month? Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll just work away at this until it's done. So nothing else to report. Really, just winter is on its way, and trying to get these covers done. So that's the update for today, and we'll talk to you again another time. Take care and have fun. It's Wednesday, November 29th, 2023, and it's t-shirt weather out here. It's 3C. There's no wind, which is very important at only 3C with this snow. You know, when the wind comes across the snow, why does it ever get cold? You know, it cools it right down. As you can tell, the sun is very bright and hot, although the local forecast says that it's cloudy. I don't know anything about that, but you can see I'm out in the apiary again. As mentioned earlier in earlier videos, I've still got my pails here. What I'm going to do with these pails is I'm just going to lift those pallets a little and make sure they don't freeze to the ground. But that's not primarily why I'm here. Primarily I'm here, you can't see it, but my little green truck is out here still. And I thought, well, we've got a warm day. You know, I should be in the shop finishing my covers, but I think I still have time today while it's warm. I'm going to try and get that truck started and get it moved back up closer to civilization. Not sure why, just thought I would do that. That way, you know, if I do need to plug in the block heater for some reason, then I can do that. I still, you know, I guess I still envision that as my truck, right? I really miss that little truck, and I still think about it. So it's got a good battery in it, and I should take the battery out for the winter when it gets really cold. For those of you not in colder climates, if a battery charge goes low in the winter, then it can freeze when it gets very cold, and that totally ruins the battery. And you can see out here how much snow there is not in the apiary. It's almost clear. I should be adding honey supers soon and making splits at least. Boy, is it ever nice. Is it ever nice. I've opened up the gate here for the winter so I can access this space freely. And because, you know, bears kind of sleep in the winter, and there's nothing here but syrup pails. I mean, they'll go after syrup pails and they'll chomp them and ruin them, but you know, there's no beehives here. And yeah, I kind of, you know, every time I come to my apiary and it's empty, it makes me a little sad. I always love being here. This area, just this area inside this fence, really is my happy place. But there's only brown grass to be happy about right now. So anyway, while I came out here, I brought the little tractor. I brought a whole skid load of stuff that really needed to come out here for storage, and because I don't really come out here very often, and it's not as just that easy coming out when the fence is done up and everything. So I'll be taking the fencer down. I'll be taking the battery in today too, because it's warm. I mean, I'm not in shorts, but I'm crazy. I'm not stupid. So we'll get that stuff put away and see if we can get that little truck started. I didn't explain why this truck is here. I was using it as a grafting shed just because just the greenhouse effect here with the cab, it stays nice and warm. And I actually had the presence of mind to disconnect the battery when I left it. So we actually have a chance here. Let's see. That's one reason I lament the loss of this little truck, is it just runs and starts and runs so beautifully. It's really, really sad that it just gets old, and I mean, it's very rusty, but I'm not that concerned with that. There's starting to be components failing on it, that it's becoming unreliable. And typical Dodge, you know, what's between the radiator and the back wheels is not your unreliable part. It's, you know, my problem, it went with the ABS problem, and then you know, a rusty brake line I blew out in the city, fully loaded. So I found last winter I was spending more time fixing my truck than I was, you know, doing my job. That's partly why I didn't get my covers built last winter. Not wholly, but partly. It's just one of those things that exasperated that problem. Lack of time was I spent a lot of time laying under my truck. I do enjoy it, you know, fixing your own vehicle. Boy, that sure does something for your self-esteem and your self-worth, you know, just a real sense of accomplishment. I love doing that. So this truck has brand new window regulators in it because they both failed last summer or last year, and so they've got brand new regulators. Why? It's got tires on it that are probably less than 500 miles on those tires. They're beautiful, expensive tires too. I need to sell those. So if you need tires, let me know. The problem is they're a 16-inch rim, so that's not as common today. Okay, I'm going to get in and drive this back to near the house there. You know, before I go, I brought this unit. For years I'd seen these units around and really didn't give them much stock. You know, people think I'm a gadget guy. I'm not so much a gadget guy. I'm a guy who loves tools that work properly. If I get a tool that works really well, I love that tool. So I avoided the idea of getting one of these for years. And then I had to boost a vehicle one day, and a guy gave me one to boost that vehicle. And I think the next day I went out and bought one of these. So it's these booster packs. This is one I got at Costco. It's got a cat brand on it. And so basically it's got a battery in here, you know, a nice handle carried around. It's got a battery charger in it, so you just plug it in here. It's actually got a little air compressor here, which I've used quite a bit. Got your booster cables built in, and it's got a lot of juice. I'm surprised how much juice it has. This one, they always put a little light in here, which is kind of stupid, I think, but whatever. It's got a 12-volt outlet for stuff that you might plug into 12-volt. This one's got something different. I have two of these, and this one's unique in this way. This has a 200-watt, 120-volt inverter built into it. You push the button, and it starts up. And it's also got a 2-amp USB charger here. So I really love this thing. If you're interested, that's a CJ1000 CPCA. The CA generally, it's the Canadian version. The new one, I notice at Costco, of course, is more money, but it's kind of got electronic controls here. It's got a readout that you can set your pressure for your tire and just let it go, and it'll pump to that pressure, that kind of thing. But I really love this thing. So I highly recommend those if you're ever boosting. Or you know what, the first one I bought for my wife. She was commuting, so it was a bit of a lengthy commute, and I didn't want her dealing with a dead battery. Truth be told, I didn't want to have to be running over to boost the car 50 miles away. But no, I didn't want her having trouble, so I bought her one of those to carry in her car, so keep it charged up. And then I found out how useful it was, so I bought one for myself. So anyway, I'm gonna get this truck out of here. So you can see I managed to get the pallets of pails. Just moved over here. The grass seems to be drier over there, so we don't get a bunch of rain and whatnot. They'll be a lot less likely to freeze down very hard. They're always going to freeze down. It was a little challenging to get them pulled up, but nothing the little tractor couldn't handle. And the big thing is you start pulling on them too much, you smash the pallets. You break the bottoms out. So I need to get on that, but that's after the covers are gone. So that's going to be another week at least. So the only other thing I want to do here today, well, I am taking a skid of pails back right here. These pails were never used. They're still wrapped, and they'll just go back in the shed. And the fencer. I think the fence controller itself would be okay outside, but I'm going to unscrew it from the post, disconnect the wires, put it in the building just to keep it out of the sun. And same with the solar panel. But in the box here is the battery. So like I said about batteries, that needs to go indoors. So I'll disconnect that, put it on my skid here, and take it back to civilization. I try to keep those charged over the winter. Just kind of put the charger on there, you know, once a month or something, just to keep the charge up, because that helps them last a lot longer. They're expensive batteries too. That's a big deep cycle battery. It's like $200 or something for those, so I don't want to ruin it. I always keep basic tools in the apiary shed here, and you can tell they're apiary shed tools because they're sticky. They invariably get propolis and honey on them. Syrup, mostly syrup, I think. It's a good screwdriver, but it's hard to pull these bits out sometimes. I'm losing my alligator grip. Okay, so before I take that off, this is still connected. The power connector is here, so I can disconnect that and disconnect the fence there. That's the ground line, and this is the energy line. That's the one that makes you jump if you touch that one. And then just one big screw at the top here. Okay, that'll just go in the shed. I'll leave that screw here for spring. Solar panel. That disconnects here. That'll go in the building. Now I've got these connected here with nuts. This is the alligator connector for the controller, and it's kind of garbagey. I'm surprised at $750 for that controller. And look what kind of connector it has. It's failed already because the part that spreads the jaws apart is just plastic welded to the metal part here, and so it's come apart and now it won't work. See? That one still works, but it's sure not hooked on there by much. That's amazing. You pay these companies so much money and you just get crap. That's a powerful controller, so I'm really hoping what's inside it is a lot better quality than what is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back to the shop and I'm going to cut those off and put ring connectors on there to match my battery. So I've got these tiny pliers. I had a better set of pliers here, but I don't know that these will work. This is not super tight, so it might work. Well, maybe they are super tight. Should have wing nuts on that, so I don't need a wrench. I had wrenches and pliers and stuff out here, but I guess I took them in. There we go. So I put those on there, yellow ring connectors. I should take that back. I never did shrink the heat shrink on those. Take the whole thing back. If I'm going to take it back, I guess I don't need to bother trying to undo it, but it's undone now already. So there was a washer on that. It's still there. So that is a 120 amp hour battery. It's what I might call a 1000 cold cranking amps battery, deep cycle. This is my little fence tester, so I can put that in the building. And the only thing else is this charge controller that keeps the solar panel from burning up the battery. So that'll go in the building too. That's a fence winch tensioner. I'm just going to put it in that box so it doesn't get covered in snow and then knocked on the ground and lost. Okay, that done with the fencer for the season. As you can see, the transition from summer to winter and winter to summer is considerable, and it doesn't all happen at once. I'm very thankful for days like this, because quite often in the fall, with the bee work and feeding and treating and extracting and all of that stuff, cleaning up the apiary, putting equipment away, there's a lot of stuff that gets left, and it's not good, because then you lose your equity in your equipment if you leave it out and it just deteriorates and turns to nothing. So I'm thankful for days like this, where I can take these pails in, I can get this fencer in, and just protect my investment, you know. So anyway, that's all that's going on out here today. I'll leave this gate open now so I can come and go. I do have to come out here a few times in winter just to get something, you know. Oh, that's in the apiary camper, I'll have to go out and get that. And I want to still take care of these pails that you can't see right here, get them into that tank. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. I'm not really sure that I'm actually going to do it, but I'm going to try. It's on the list. So thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. It's Thursday, November. It's Thursday, November 30th, 2023. I can't believe tomorrow begins December, and you can see a big stack of covers here on my table saw. Okay, for an update, I did, on Monday, I finished all my assembly of the covers, and I made 204. And the customer said, yeah, I'll take 204. So that's good, if I've counted correctly. So, you know, that's yet to be seen. And then on Tuesday, I actually began to trim them. And I'm going to show you that here in a little bit, how I trim them. But today, I need to start to do the roundovers, the routing roundovers on them. I have to do them in 2 batches of about 100 so that I can have room to work here, because I don't have space for them all. I'll show you what I got behind here pretty soon. And so that's just what I'm doing here today. I'll be doing the routing, and then I have a pallet in the shop here to put them on the pallet. I don't know how many pallets I can use, or I have to use, because I have to lift them on the trailer with my tractor. I don't know how many of these my tractor will actually lift. When I use a short pallet, it'll lift more. If I use a long pallet, which I'm going to use, then it won't lift as much because the load is farther from the tractor. So anyway, that's what's going on here today. Yesterday I had a great day. Got a lot of work done outside, and yet today I need to go out and get the battery out of my green truck. I didn't do that, so I need to do that yet today. And that's about it. That's what's going on today. I'm very happy that I'm making progress on these, but I need to keep going and get them done by the end of the weekend. And then on Monday, I'm going to deliver them. You can see today is sunny, but it's not as warm as yesterday. There's a bit of a north breeze, so that really cools things down. I meant to do this yesterday while it was warm, but I didn't. Boy, that's a small bolt. I'm going to take this battery charger off of here. I put it on with a really big zip ties. Just cut those. Because I won't need that. I can use that elsewhere. It's a nice little battery maintainer. Wow, I did that upright. I fed it right through the boot, and and hooked it to the battery clamp. This was my wife's truck when I did this, so I took a little extra time to do a nice job for her. So I need to undo those. Boy, that's chilly. That's chilly on the fingers. Suppose what American manufacturers, they build a vehicle that's half metric and half SAE fasteners. Why is that? I don't get that. Okay, I'm gonna do something else. Okay, nice. Dodge has a nice tool holder there. I don't know what fastener this is. It's tiny. It's not even a 10 millimeter. That battery post is. Sometimes you wish you hadn't done such a good job. But I did. I got her installed real nice for my wife. This was her commuter a few years ago. Sometimes you work out in the cold and your eyes start to water and you can't see very well, and then things freeze up. I can't get that one out. Okay. Such a tiny bolt. This one doesn't have a convenient handle on it. Batteries that don't have a handle. This is the kind of gripper that my battery shop uses. I have used them. They have a strap like this, but they connect to the posts. In my mind, I like that kind better because the post is what's hooked to the lead part. But this is what they use, and I guess they don't drop batteries. I'm going to set it down for a moment because I want to take this cord off. I've had this cord winding thing since I had my very first car in I think 1982. I got my first car, and that's a handy device. It just says if you leave your car plugged in, you back away, you smash your grill. So that's good. I can use this cord now. Okay, that little job is done. And it is chilly out there, working with no gloves. I'm not a cold weather person. I'm kind of a wimp. There's a lot of people with jobs outside all winter, and I feel for them because, boy, that's not me. So what I've done here, I've worked ahead, and I've just trimmed these. So as you may recall, as I'm assembling, I try to flush all my parts to one side. And that's pretty good, but it's not perfect. I like them to be a little more perfect than that. However, you can see that the other side is not as perfect. I usually try to make my plywood a little wider, some of my parts are a little wider, and whatnot. You see that's the step there. So what I do is when I'm assembling is I'll choose a rough side, and I'll mark it with my black marker. And then when I'm all done, I'll just set my fence at 16 5/8, and in it goes. Now, it's a little challenging because the blade is barely tall enough to cut to the end of that. Sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, I'll trim that with a utility knife. Something I've started to do is I've started to brand my work. I had this little brand that I bought years ago. So my honey company is Faith Apiaries, and before that, trying to find something to do, you know, and I decided woodworking, and so I made a Faith Woodcraft business name, and I bought that brand, and I started branding my work. Then I went in the honey business. I haven't really used it, but you can see the brands here on the end of these covers. So kind of just sets it off. It's nice when I see that brand. Here's the little brand itself. I got this from a company called Brand New. Kind of a clever name, I think, but anyway, so got the little brand. I just warm it with a propane torch. Boy, it takes some heat to get that hot enough, but it works well. And so now, all these covers and a whole bunch you can't see here are going to get routed, round-overed, and then palletized. I'm not sure how many I can put on that pallet. We will find out. So you may see that little bit. It's just a tiny cove there. And this is an operation I really need the ear protection. Eye protection too. Okay, some explanation. This roundover on this edge is functional. This helps the cover not catch on the edge of the box when you put the cover on. This roundover here is functional because that helps the mating pallet runner to not catch on that edge when you're stacking pallets on top of the covers. The rest of them are mostly aesthetic and handling. Having that rounded over when you grab that cover is really meaningful. To have that round over there, I can pick up that cover like this because it's rounded over on the inside. It just is a whole lot more comfortable to the hand when you're doing that. Maybe my hands are just sensitive, I don't know, but I notice it big time. And not only that, for some reason, when this is rounded over on all sides, particularly after it's dipped, it almost makes it appear that this piece is more one piece with this for some reason. I don't know. It's just the way the eye perceives it. But that's the roundover. Now I am putting all this in a standalone video on the covers, but this is the vlog, so that's all I'm going to do here for the vlog, and you have to watch for that video coming out for how to assemble and route, trim and route the covers for final prep for the customer. And sorry, I'm losing my words because I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of not tired, just out of breath, and working out in the cold is not my thing. So I'll leave it at that for now, and hope you enjoy the vlog when it comes out. And like I say, watch for that video on the covers standalone, and I'll show you some more detail on that. Have a great day. Take care and have fun. It's Friday, December the 1, 2023. I can't believe it's December. Partly because the weather's been so nice. We got just a dusting of snow last night, which, I'm not a fan of snow. I'll take the colder weather, but snow I'm not a fan of at all. But regardless, a dusting of snow. It's going to be over 0, so that's, freezing point. It's going to be 1 degree as a high for the next couple of days. So the snow might just melt if it's sunny. But forecast, I think, says it's going to be mostly cloudy. So regardless, that's enough about the weather. Look what I got here. This is probably 130 covers stacked here on table saw. And I've got just enough room to work here. However, I'm not actually using the table saw because yesterday I was able to completely finish branding and trimming all of the covers. So now the only operation left is to do the roundovers on the covers. And that doesn't really take that long. It might take me a couple hours. Then palletize them. Yeah, you can see that pallet right over there. I've got a few on that pallet now. And I realized that the tractor will lift a pallet of 70 covers. Probably good enough to get it on the trailer. And 70 covers divides evenly in 3 pallets with what I have. So that's really nice. Winning already. So that's all I'm planning to do today, although I'm probably going to finish this before the day's out. And I've got, I'm always thinking, what's next, right? So I'm not taking these out till Monday. So I'll load them up and they'll wait till Monday. And then, it's Friday. So I've got 3 more days of work this week. So I think what I'm going to do is the next step is I'm going to bring my syrup tank in here. Now, what I didn't show you was I moved my syrup tank from back at the apiary area up to behind where the wood shop is here. Was it yesterday? And what I'm going to do, I think, is bring that syrup tank in here. I've got enough space. I'll put it there, and then I can systematically bring in pallet loads of those pails that still have syrup in them, either lots or a remnant, and then get them warmed up to dump into the tank. I can actually warm it up in the room here a bit just to make the syrup flow. So that'll get that job done. Unfortunately, the pails aren't going to get washed this year, which is really bad because they get really nasty by spring. So that is what it is. That's always a big push. I lose my honey house because it's where the bees sit in the winter, and washing the pails is always a big push to get that done in the honey house. I don't have a room with running water besides that, so if it doesn't get done in there, it doesn't get done. But regardless, I get those pails put away. I think leaving them in the UV out in the winter, and that's something that, you know, if you don't have a lot of snow, that's considerable. When something is out, you know, I think we're all familiar with UV damage to various materials, but in the winter with the reflection off the snow, the UV damage is multiplied on different materials. So I want to get those in. They turn brittle and they start to break if they get too much UV. So I want to get them in the shed for the winter. Got one skid of pails in the shed now, and then there should be 2 more to go in there. Well, 3 more, 2 skids of large pails, and then the small pails as well. It's one of the nice things about the jars. There's plenty of things to hate about the jars, but one nice thing about the jars is they fit nicely into a 10 frame deep box. And so I just take a couple of my old pallets, some of my old boxes, some of my old covers, and I just put those jars in the boxes. There's 24 jars, 24, there's 12 jars in a box and 24 on a pallet. I just leave them in the apiary all winter. So that solves some of my storage problems with those jars. But regardless, that's about it. That's what's going on. So the weekend, just working around here. So I'll probably get some of those feed pails up here on the weekend. Maybe I can get some in here tonight before I shut down, let it warm up, and then I can dump them in the morning and get another skid of those in here. So that's the plan. And I got to get at this. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a really great weekend and enjoy December. December is one of the really greatest months ever, right? It's we all try to have a good time, right? Some of us have a lot more struggles than others. I know some of my friends are going through some difficult times, but you try to be there for them, and not just because it's December either. You know, be there for your friends and family. Be there for people you don't even know, right? And I'm not very good at that. I am not very good at that. I know it's the right thing to do, but the one thing I want to encourage you while I'm talking about that is we have a lot of organizations that capitalize, and rightfully so, on the giving spirit of Christmas. And I'm talking about organizations that support less fortunate people, that they really rise to the top and they really come to the front of your mind here during the season, and they ask you to help the less fortunate people. And specifically, I'm talking about homeless people, but it's not limited to that. And what I want to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to support those less fortunate 12 months of the year, not just one. People get hungry in January and February and March and all through the year, just like they get hungry at Christmas. And I don't believe the point is that you need to have a bunch of things and you need to have a bunch of stuff and you need to have a bunch of money to have a good Christmas. That's not what Christmas is about. Christmas, you know, the original meaning of Christmas did include some gifts, but the greatest gift of all, right, was a Savior for us and our salvation. And we can't give that, but what we can give is we can give a bit of relief for the practical needs of our neighbors, and we can give some emotional support. If you can volunteer, please do that. Not nearly enough of us volunteer these days, particularly where the needy people are involved. So if you can volunteer, please do that, and God bless you if you are. But otherwise, at least if you can spare some of your blessing, some of your, you know, you can give material goods to homeless shelters. socks and clothes and underwear and all kinds of stuff that people need, just practical things that people need. And just remember them every month is what I'm asking you. Don't limit it to December. Don't limit it to Christmas. They need it all year round, all year round. And my wife and I try to do that. So that's why I'm trying to, impress upon others that, giving at Christmas is great and it's important and it's well received and it's appreciated. People need help 12 months of the year, not just one. So that's my PSA. So regardless, I hope you're doing well. And, I hope you will have a great Christmas season, whether or not you celebrate Christmas per se. It's a season, and I hope you will have a great Christmas season. I plan to. Of course, we all plan to, right? So what more can I say? I just really appreciate you watching. So have a really great weekend, and thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. I usually like to make a few more covers as I'm going, because if I count wrong, which I usually do, then I'll have some margin to fill in, because there's nothing worse than having an order for 200 covers and then have to go back and remill a bunch of lumber and get out all the assembly tools and everything just to make one or two more, which is exactly what I did last year. I had 199 covers. So I had to make one more. But this year, I thought that's not going to happen, so I made 204 covers. So I made 204 covers, and I piled them all up nicely and neatly and counted them all, and there was 204. And then I trimmed them all and routing them all and palletizing them, and counted them again, and there was an even 200. So I don't know where the other 4 went, but there's 200 covers here, which is exactly what the order specified. I got probably 30 to go here, and I'm palletizing as I go and putting them, wrapping them, putting them right on the trailer so that I can get out of here on, I think, Monday with them, take them to the dipper. The dipper will dip them, and a customer will pick them up there. Like I said, thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. I've actually finished all my assembly on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, actually on Tuesday, I finished. What did I do? I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, I think it was Monday. Yeah,